Hi, I'm Diane Dayton. We're at the 20th Annual VF Outlet Works Jazz Fest in Reading, Pennsylvania. We're now checking in with Joe McBride. How are you, Joe?
Hey, Diane. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's
wonderful.
Great to have you back at this 20th Anniversary Festival.
Well, thank you. It's always good to come back to Berks. Always good.
It is. Now, you're doing some fun things. You've got some brunches that you're actually doing, too, right?
I actually believe that we're going to be doing the Sunday brunch. That hasn't been completely locked down, but we are working on that.
Okay.
And so that may happen. But we're definitely going to be tonight, the All-Star Jam here at the Crown with a bunch of folks. 17 different guys.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we're over at the Lincoln, and we're going to be I'm going to be with my group. Special guest tomorrow, Friday night, is Chuck Loeb with the Joe McBride Trio, and then on Saturday, Gerald Beasley's sax player Chris Farr.
Okay.
And so both of those shows are at 10 o'clock tomorrow night and Saturday night.
And I really hope you do a lot from your most recent
We're going to do everything
CD
from
too.
the record. The whole set is going to be the new CD.
Wow, and that's Looking for a Change.
Looking for a change.
Now that's a great CD. I've got to admit, this is one that I keep putting in the car, and I keep listening and listening to it because it just makes me feel so good.
Well, thank you. That was kind of my objective, to try something a little bit different, but yet sort of familiar. I wanted to kind of bridge the gap between generations. Most of the tunes that I picked were, within the last 5 years, with a couple of old ones. And then kind of taking the technology out of it and the electronic stuff and the synthesizers and replacing them with a more organic sound with upright bass and acoustic piano and drums. And this is my first album where I've actually done everything as a vocal, every song is a vocal tune too. So.
And I really love that.
That's a new stretch as well.
Yeah. Well, I really love Crazy. When Crazy comes on, the Gnarls Barkley song, and I just love what you've done to it.
Well, you hear the real, the original. It's kind of just a real dark, morbid kind of a tune. But I just kind of liked messing with it, just see what would come out of it. So I was thinking about kind of a reggae kind of vibe, completely different than what the original was.
Yeah, it was great. I know I'm always dancing around the house to that one.
You know what song I was thinking of when
What?
I did that?
What?
The Mother and Child Reunion by Paul Simon.
Oh.
The same kind of sky kind of vibe. So.
Okay. Wow. Now you started playing piano when you were really little.
About the age of 4, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you had to actually convince your parents to get you a little keyboard, right?
Yeah, well, what had happened was I was at a party, Christmas gathering at one of my relatives' house, and they had gotten a toy keyboard for Christmas. This is back in the 60s. So one of those little Magnus organs that had like a fan underneath it that blew when you turned it on. And one chord, one button, you could play chords with it. But I was fascinated at that early age with it, and come time for us to leave, I wanted to take it with me, and I couldn't. My parents took me home, and I cried, and finally our local church donated the money for me to get a keyboard, get a piano.
Yeah.
But then by 8 years old, I was bored and got an organ. So.
Okay. And it's been nonstop since then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. You've played all around the world. I know last year you were in South Africa. You've got some things coming up this year, too.
Yeah, well, we're going to be getting over to Europe later on in the year. Spain and Holland and Germany and some other places.
Okay, and this is with your band,
with
right?
my group from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, that's
where I live
right.
now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Back up to the Four Seasons again.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, it is. Now, music is so much a part of your life, Joe. I know that you were talking about, even when you were a teenager, some of those first performances that you had at the school.
Yeah. I went to a school for the blind, and quite by coincidence, there were a few students there were also musicians. And so we started out playing together, and I met this old lady that was a jazz singer back in the 60s and 70s in St. Louis. Her name was Mae Wheeler. And she came and heard me at one of my concerts, and I started playing down on the landing in St. Louis in my teenage years, and playing in blues clubs all over Missouri and Illinois. And that's how I got started, just playing out, in the Midwest.
Is there anybody that you haven't played with yet that you really want to, that's on your wish list?
I don't know if so much play, but work with.
Okay.
I'd love to work with Quincy Jones. I know he's getting kind of old, but I think he's still got it. But he's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's just so many great people out there right now. George Benson, I love. Al Jarreau, some of my heroes. I'm afraid I'll miss out on somebody if I don't tell you all of them.
No, well, that's all right. We're just putting it out in the universe, right?
Oh yeah, I'm just putting the energy out.
Putting the energy out there.
And so,
yeah. What is it like when you're collaborating with a bunch of musicians, like tonight for the jam session, when you have all these talents up there? What is it like being a part of that, Joe?
Exciting at the least. Exciting, unpredictable, a lot of fun, I mean, it can get a little crazy up there, so we kind of have to try to keep a monster on the leash, but
that was
definitely a great exchange of artistic power going on, It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there's so much creativity going on, too, because you really don't know what's going to happen.
And it's like some of these people that I've played with, I've heard, on the radio, or even some that I've grown up with that I've met here at this festival that's been a real honor to play with, so that's kind of a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it really is. And have you done any cooking lately? I know that's one of your passions.
I cook every day. I'm not married yet, and I'm not rich enough to afford somebody to pay, so I have to do it myself. But I love it. It's an art,
It is an art.
I know a lot of people. My roommate, he's just pretty much into throwing stuff in the microwave and heating it up. But cooking to me is like music. It's like an art form. All the ingredients are like all the chords and the keys that you play, all the different colors.
I think we should do a CD and a cookbook or something with music. What do you think?
That sounds pretty good.
Wouldn't that be pretty good?
That sounds really good.
Get some interesting recipes and get some of the different artists together and do that.
Sure enough,
A different dish with a different tune, and
Different dish with different Smoking Joe's barbecue chicken.
Well, there you go. We do it with wine and jazz. They're pairing up bottles of wine. Why don't we pair up food with?
There you go.
With some jazz too, and start something like that.
There you go.
Yeah. What's really important to you, Joe?
I think to me the most important things in life are health and happiness, and that comes from knowing yourself and being, confident and having dignity and respect for yourself and friends around you. Friends and family are greatly important. I think music. I think of music more now, not so much as my life, but as a major part of it. Because there are things outside of music. You got to have something to write about.
Right.
So I think that health and happiness and the company of good friends and working at what you love to do. I think that's most important.
Yeah, it is. And we love what you do, and thank you for doing what you do.
It's my pleasure.
Can't wait to hear you tonight.
Well, we can't do it with all of you guys. Without all of you, we need you guys for our support and buy them tickets.
Well, we'll be there.
It's always great to play in front of an audience. I love it. The energy is wonderful.
It is. Thank you so much for taking time today.
Thanks for having me.
We're coming to you from the 20th annual VF Outlet Berks Jazz Fest in Reading, Pennsylvania.